Yo, yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Fro, and today I'm going to be talking about the 2009 flick Survival of the Dead, directed by my favorite filmmaker of all time, George A. Romero. Rest in peace. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. I gotta say, it does sadden me that Survival was the last film out of the Dead franchise for George A. Romero before he passed, because it is my least favorite from him. I do think Diary is a bit more enjoyable. I do love Land more than other people do. And this one doesn't hold a candle to how game changing the first films were: Night, Dawn, and Day. With Survival, we follow two families that are beefing and duking it out with each other, the O'Flynns and the Muldoons. O'Flynn is a brash Irish older gentleman, and he's actually my favorite character. The other guy, Muldoon, gives me a bit of a Gene Hackman kind of vibe going on, and Unforgiven. Aside from that, we have Sergeant Crockett, played by Alan Van Sprang, and if you recognize this guy, he's popped up in other Romero films. Diary, Land. I'm not sure if he's playing the same character in Land of the Dead, but he definitely is in Diary. He's a bit less likable in his brief appearance when he's hijacking the college students on their RV in Diary. Here, he's a bit more likable, and I do like the character evolution, or this side that we're getting to see of Crockett in Survival. But apart from O'Flynn and Crockett, there's nobody else really in a supporting cast that stands out to me with any memorable lines of dialogue that I'm really used to in a Romero film, because at least he has some really snappy pieces of writing displayed throughout his movies. But here, I didn't really feel any of the magic that I was personally used to. We do have two twin sisters, and one of them eventually turns into a zombie and bites the other. And the way it's done is just a gigantic mess. We have the zombie sister riding on a horse, and it's a bit more ridiculous than it sounds. For the blood and gore hounds like myself, if you're tuning into this movie for that, you're gonna get disappointed, because it doesn't really amp up until we get to the finale, when the zombies start overrunning the barn and they start chowing down on the horse. This sequence is rather well done, but it's only a tiny bit that you get. So I'm a gore guy, especially with my Dead franchise, and I always remember walking away feeling very disappointed by how minimal it is. And even the original classics are slow burns, if you will, the first three that he did, but when the gore happened, it hit twice as hard when it popped up on screen. Here, he just saves it for the very end. And there are a couple wonky kills, like when Sergeant Crockett fires a flare and it hits a zombie and we see the flare in terrible CGI fashion. That always throws me off too, because I love Romero for his practical effect use. That's half the reason. I would say that's one of the reasons why I watch his films. But wrapping it up, Survival of the Dead, it's always been disappointing for me. I always found Diary not to be so great either, but I have to take that one over this flick. Survival, there's not much going for it in my opinion, but this one doesn't pack a punch for me, and it doesn't hold a candle to some of the classics in his filmography. So I'm going to have to give Survival of the Dead a generous 5 out of 10. And that's it, y'all. It's your boy Fro. What did you think about George A. Romero's very last flick before he passed? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you disappointed like I was? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. In the meantime, between time, I'm on to the next review. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Fro.